Okay, this sucks because I didn't want it in this position. I hate you, YouTube. You tell me to do one thing and then it doesn't work. So I'll have to do it vertically. Oh my god, really? Hey, Pistol Pete. Hey, DW Barker. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my... Can you hear me loud and clear? If you can, let me know, please. I'm just out in the garage and somehow the connection's kind of spotty. Why, I have no idea. Probably because I got a lot of stuff on Wi-Fi. I want to do this horizontally, but it wants to do it vertically, so it usually gives you that option to do that crap, and now it's not doing anything. Oh my god, really? Come on. It's frustrating when none of the electronic devices work when you want them to. Okay, cool, loud and clear. Oh, that is so fucking aggravating. Sorry, I'm swearing. It's not a kid's channel. I don't understand this. I can't even hook up to anything in this stupid thing. There's too many applications. Let me see here. Wow. You probably heard me swear loud and clear too, huh? Ridiculous. Come on. Fuck up, you stupid thing. Alright, I can't see comments at the moment because this damn iPad's not doing anything. Which really pisses me off. If I reboot it. The old reboot. Nothing works when you want it to. We'll wait for some more people to come on. Got 8 people watching. So basically what I'm going to do is talk about, resin body printing for people who have resin printers. Some of those files are available on 3D coats for those dirt track cars. So they have the hogged out wheel well. So there's only 2 that are not available because we invested in having them designed. So those won't be later, available to take as a file next year. But the cards are going to be sent to Slot Car Corner that will be available. I'm currently printing them and should be sending them out this week, hopefully, depending on, everything goes well. Usually all the prints are really good. They print out real good. This designer is really good at designing files and making them at the perfect thickness of what we need. So the thickness of all the cars are about 1.5 millimeters. So that makes them pretty sturdy, pretty durable, and also pretty light, not extremely heavy. Now the other files we've been printing are just, files from 3D printables, and that's kind of like a hit and miss sometimes. There's only 2 or 3 files that are really terrible that I couldn't even use, and we kind of like stopped trying because they're just a crap file. If you have a crap file, you're gonna have a bad print. So the print is only as good as the file is, so whoever designed it. And generally they're designed through, Blender or whatever program's available to design stuff. And that's usually how they do things. But my iPad does not want to connect. Very, very unusual. Let's see. Don't understand why. But any questions, at least I can answer right now if anybody has questions. Have you checked out the new slicer program? Yeah, the satellite. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest. I know it's a newer, it's free. They have it for Windows currently, but Mac they still haven't released it. But I do have Mac and Windows, and but I haven't tried it out yet. I guess it's just kind of like an updated version. But again, I haven't tried it out yet. I like what I have so far. Usually, when you change things, you start running into issues, and I kind of don't want to do that at the moment, and that's why I kind of tend to shy away from that kind of stuff. But anyways, that being said, let me see if I can. All right, continue. Yep. All right. Okay. Finally, gosh, man, this thing. It's just a little bit of trouble. Here we are. All right, now I can get the live picture, and you can hear me loud and clear, which is good. So, you know, of course, none of the comments are coming up. Valentine, how you doing? George, your recommendations for quality files? So the gentleman we use is 3D Cults. You want to get well-known guys that have, if you go to 3D Cults, they'll have a rating on there. So those are the ones you want to go to that have real good ratings. Here we go. Here's all the comments. I can get in front of the camera now. Sorry, guys. So you want to go to very good, how would you say, good well-known guys that design. If you go to 3D Cults, they have ratings. Will they be for sale? Yeah, the cars will be for sale in mid-January. I made a video about that, 2 different videos, so I don't know if you saw the videos. I'm currently printing, and I'm going to show you what I'm printing right now because it's one of the cars. So I'm going to bring you right over here and show you what's on the printer. Okay, now this is the Elegoo Saturn IV Ultra. This printer right here, it's about $400. They make a Saturn one. That's not the Ultra, it's a green one, which is a good working printer as well. The only difference is that this has Wi-Fi. It has a camera to view it. It says it's supposed to sense failures, but really it doesn't. It's just a nice viewing tool. But I do like the Ultra. I don't know if the green one, which is the green Elegoo Saturn, the regular Saturn, has the moving vat. But either way, it's a good printer. This one, I've really worked the crap out of this printer. I mean, I've worked it really hard. So I've worked it hard to the point where I have replaced a screen, the FET, the tank, I have a backup tank. It's just a lot of things you learn in the process of when you're doing printing. A lot of it is trial and error. I've done a lot of mistakes, and I've gotten to the point where I can print pretty good and know what to print, and having a good, good set of files always helps. So this is a flip up lid, obviously. So this is done right here. This is one of the dirt cars. This is the Malibu one. There's 2 Malibu cars. There's one that has the nose of a Monte Carlo, and this has the regular squared single headlights, like a 80s style Malibu. This one took about 4 hours to print. It's printing at 30 layers, 0.030 millimeters. So that's a finer layer. So that's why the bodies come out super smooth. If you go more like 50, then it won't print. It'll print, but you'll see lines. But also this machine is capable of doing what's called the grayscale, to where you could blur the pixels, and you really hardly see the layers at all on these prints. So what I'm going to do is manually move it to home. And of course, everything's ventilated in the garage. So you got to remember that. That's real important, that you got ventilation, and that you wear gloves. Because residue is not good for you. It'll irritate your skin. It happened to Dave. It'll happen to Sorry. All right, so I'm going to remove this from the print. Hopefully it won't freeze out. I usually, and Harry will do this, they have a tray that you put here. What I'll do is remove it, and I'll tilt it. I'll let the rest drip down like this, trying to make a mess. And I hook it there, and then all this residue will drip down, from the build plate and the model itself. There will be resin on the inside here. Let it drip for a few minutes. This right here is the heater. So I've printed Well, we've had 20 degrees weather outside, 20 below, or see, not 20 below, but at 20 degrees. And then the garage is like about 40, so 20 degrees difference. With that heater and this enclosed, it'll keep your resin real warm and it will still print. I haven't had a printing issue with weather yet. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back. What's up, Marty? Sorry I lost you guys. I don't know what's going on. And we got Jerry here. How you doing? So going back to this, I tilt this. I'm going to move the camera as I go over to this spot here, and this is where my area where I clean everything. I'm going to move it right here so you guys can kind of see everything, because freaking horizontal crap really sucks. And you can see I have a dirty bath, and then I have a clean bath. And really, all you need to start out with is the printer. It's really minimal supplies to start out with. You don't have a curing and washing machine, but to me, I don't like it because I think it's a waste of money unless you're doing large things like large figures and stuff. But I'm doing stock car bodies, so what I do is I get these from the dollar store. There's about 2 bottles of alcohol here, 2 bottles here. I'll stick the model in here and I'll let it sit here for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And that's when I pop it apart. And then I put it in a clean bath to clean the body, to clean it even more. Because you want to get all the residue off, because if you cure it, and it does leave residue if you don't clean it up, it won't kill it. You just, sand a little paint over it and be fine. But it makes it look a little bit kind of messy, so I like to get it real clean. And then I put it in this curing station right here. And that's what this is. This is the Sunlu curing station. And there's 2 cars there already. Forgot about those. Let me wipe my hands. And here are the 2 right here. So this is the Pontiac Ventura. And as you can see how nice and clean it is. Nice and smooth. So this is from the Elegoo printer. And this one is from the Hagears printer. So 2 different printers right here. This is the new Barracuda. So did a pretty good job. I'm still experimenting more with this. This is at 30 thousandths millimeter, 0.030 millimeters. All right, and this one's at the same one. And a little bit of difference, not much. This one is maybe a little bit smoother than the Hagears one, but I'm still trying to tweak the Hagears printer. And the only thing I don't like about the Hagears printer is that it uses a lot of supports, and it kind of goes overboard. So, Jerry, his arm heating the vat due to the buffering. Okay, hold on. 1 second. George, this may be a dumb question, but why gray resin? Why not black or white other colors? Well, I don't know, because gray resin is cheaper. Actually, white resin is cheaper. They have white, black. You could use any color you want, but I like the gray. It's just my preference. So it doesn't mean that, hey, you're doing it wrong because you're using a different color. That doesn't matter. But these 2 cars are cured and done, so I'll take them upstairs. So once you've let it soak here for 1.5 hours, and you want to do it so you will remove the supports come off easy on the body, because you don't want to damage the body, because if you go too hard, it'll pop the body and break it. I've done it already. The Hagears printer uses a lot more supports, so it has to soak a lot longer, about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and then they come off easier. But I'll show you the difference between the Hagears and the Elegoo printing. So here's the Hagears, how many supports they have. Right there, see? And then here's the Elegoo. See how much less it is? This is easier to pull off than this. These could be a real pain in the butt, but you just gotta let it soak it longer, and then they pop off. With the Elegoo one's a little bit easier. So if you're gonna start off with printing, I recommend really the Elegoo one. If you wanna get more advanced, you go to the Hagears, and then I'll show you the machine. So back to Jerry's question, the heater. So there's the heater right there. One thing I want to make sure is you don't have anything on your hands when you go over the bats like I did, and I didn't. So there's the heater right there. And that's goes to 27 Celsius. That's about 70 degrees, I think. I'm not good on reading Celsius, maybe less. But once this is closed, this heats up this area and keeps this warm. And it prevents the problems of resin printing when things get cold. So those heaters are about $50. They have a pre-mounted area in the back of it because it's part of this same company that makes this machine. So there's a plate back there you remove. You could put a ventilation system or you could put a heater. It's up to you. Venting, I have a lot of ventilation in this garage, so I'm not worried about it. But they also make a tent that you could put over this as well. You get them on Amazon and it zips in there. It comes with a light. It's a big tent and you can get the printer in there. And then we have the little Mars one here, which does smaller stuff. So if I want to do interiors or stuff like that, then that's where I have it to do the smaller stuff. Now my hands are clean. So this one right here, you have to remove the lid. Okay, and there's the heater right there. See how it mounts back there? That's for this machine. And there's the heater. Sucks air and it puts out warm air there. And there's there's a filter up there you can change as well, or on the bottom I think it is. And they come with 2 filters, I believe. So here's the Mars, which is a lot smaller version of this machine. And you can do small things like wheel inserts, driver figures, interior trays. That's what I do on this, and tiny other little things if I need to do them. 125th wheel inserts and so forth, 125th drivers. That's the Mars right there. And this is the same thing basically as the Saturn. It's just a smaller version. Let me see if any more questions here. Harry, hey Harry, how you doing? Thank you for answering that question on making the gray. But yeah, it just looks better. I just my preference, but that's a good point where Harry's putting on there. Thank you for answering that. How you doing, NJ App Boy? Thanks for joining me. I just ordered a brewer's belt wrap to the vat and close with the whole printer. I hope that works. My basement's too cold. Yeah, that'll work. Harry uses that, Jerry. Harry uses a belt that you can put around here. And they make one for this too. It'll be strapped around here and it doesn't interfere because this tilts. This whole vat tilts as it's printing. So it won't be a problem. So you can use that. I know Harry's uses Anycubic and actually wrapped the belt around, I think the outside of the case, Harry. You may have to answer that, I may be wrong. But, different thing there. So here we go. Here is the Hay Gears printer. Now this one's more advanced and it's more touchier than I've ever used. So this is very more sensitive. If there's anything on the bottom of this plate will detect it and then it'll kick the print out. It won't print. It's a lot more advanced. It's got a lot more things to it. As far as I'm concerned, you can use third-party resins. You just have to use a certain setting for it. But what I've found is one of the resins that they have is actually pretty good for slot car bodies, and that's what I use. It's like a purple color, but it looks gray. They call it a purple. This machine, it's a good machine. It does a good job. There's a lot of features on it. Like here, you have your settings and stuff, the history, what you printed, your jobs that you send to it. This is a Wi-Fi one too, so you could send your file to this printer, but you can't tell it to turn on. That's something I think they're working on. Like with the Saturn, you could send the file to the Wi-Fi and you could click it from the computer to start it to print. This one you can't do that yet, but you can send the file, you just can't tell it to print from the computer, which I'm sure they'll get. I know here and there with Hay Gears, they're trying to improve the machine as much as they can as far as adding features. And this machine you could use offline. Before it was only an online machine, you needed internet connection. Now you don't. So it's all good. It's really a decent machine. But for beginners, I would recommend the Elegoo first before you step into something like this. Remember that they should get ABS-like resin for toughness. Yeah, if you use anything other than ABS-like resin, like say regular resin for figures, for slot car bodies, they're gonna shatter when you're racing them. So that's what Jerry is saying, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So I'm gonna take this body off this build plate. So now that I got it drained, there's the print. So it prints upside down. There's your supports. Okay, and then what I do is I get this. Now, Harry uses a plastic one. You can use a plastic one. I use a metal one, I don't have a problem. This is the Hay Gears one. The ones with Elegoo come like this, which does fine. It scratches the plate, but it doesn't do anything to it from what I've read. But if you don't want scratches on your plate, you use a plastic one, it'll work fine. This one's a real nice putty knife because it's super thin and wide. And what I do is I get under here and just basically peel it off, drop it on this tray. Put this back because there's no resin dripping on it. Nice and good. Shut that. So here's the print right here. And that's what it looks like off the plate. Now my settings, I have it to where I have the raft thinner. If you go with the original settings when it comes with the machine, it'll print a real thick raft. It's kind of a waste of resin. So I get it down to, I think this is like 30.30 point. I hate saying the points. So 30 millimeters. All right. But basically that's what it is. And then what I'll do is I'll take this and put it in my dirty wash. So this is the dirty wash. I'm gonna stick it in there and I'm gonna let that sit for about 2 hours. I like 2 hours because they're medium, middle supports. They call it middle in the program, I call it medium. And then I'll let that sit. When I'm ready, I'll pop it off. So let me see if there's any questions. Let me wipe my hands on it too. So now I got that in there. I'm gonna take my gloves off. You see how much mess I made here? I didn't make any mess. Look at that. That's the whole point of this, is to stay clean. This is dirty, and then what I have is a bottle of alcohol in this. Spray, paper towels are a must. You do this. I put the camera in here. I'll clean this off. Nice and clean. See? Put it here. Wipe my tray down. That's why these cafeteria trays you can get from Amazon come in handy. Because with the hay gears, I need to put this and bring it out because that one drips a little bit more because it doesn't have a runoff like the Elegoo does. It's got more of a tapered on the build plate, so it runs off more. Whereas the hay gears, it all sits on the top. When you're done printing, you have to wipe it down with the scrape it off of the scraper back into the vat, and then you got to use this to go into the machine and bring the build plate out into here. That's why I have trays. They really come in handy. But you can see, look, not a big mess. It could be very manageable if you're neat. If you're not manageable with being neat, then you're gonna have a problem. So let me take my gloves off here and put these. I only reuse the gloves. I only don't reuse the gloves if they get a hole and then I dump them out. But you can get some nitrile gloves and do that. So now we got it in there, that'll sit. We ain't gonna be here for 2 hours watching that though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my next one. I'm gonna start printing. And I will go to print. So here are all the files that I have loaded on here. What I'll usually do is I'll go to history. And the last car I did was this Malibu right there. And then I'm just gonna hit print and it's gonna print. Very simple. Nothing to it, pretty easy. Let me see, let me try and answer some questions here. If anybody has any. I know Harry's here to help me out. So let's see. I just ordered a brewer's belt, that we talked about. On the Elegoo, Harry's saying I used it around the outside because the Saturn vat is not stationary. It's part that moves, so I wrap the outside that helps create a thermal layer. Yeah, there you go. That's what Harry was saying on that one. And he left a link for it. That's cool. Remind everybody that they should buy ABS. We talked about that. My Saturn 2's older style doesn't move. Yeah, that's just a different style. It's just a different machine and, an older one. But if it works for you and you have your settings good, keep using it. No reason to upgrade unless you want to. I have ordered the flex plate that is magnetic to the build plate. Nope, I haven't tried that one yet. I know they make for the hay gears. There's a file where you could get to where you could slide it. It's like a bracket that goes over and you can slide it and let it drip. But this one right here, like I said, this machine, this really leaves a lot of, how would you say, resin up here. And I have to wipe it with a spatula when it's done because when this is done printing, it goes up. And it's pretty much finished there. And then you have to clean it up. So there's no holes in this. The RS doesn't have holes. The Reflex did have holes. before this machine, and then they would drip through. It was a little nicer. You can see the bottle is in the back there, and it identifies what resin it is and so forth. But pretty much it. Uh, yep. There you go, Harry. Harry just answered that question. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run a print on this. We're gonna go to the computer in the house. It's downstairs on the track. I loaded the programs on there, so we're gonna walk over there. So you're gonna get to see the inside of my house here. So you can see the garage, my wife's car, and instead of running upstairs, I could run to Area 51 track. And, oh. All right. Yeah, getting a tour of the house as we walk through here. Here's Area 51. Then we're gonna go to the computer here. I have my area here. So let me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the screen so you guys can see it on the screen better. All right. See if that helps a little. And it's about right here. Okay, so you guys could see that screen. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the blueprint software. We'll load the blueprint software. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is go to my slicer. So this is for the Hager's. This is all the previous files. I'm gonna go new project, and then I'm gonna go Ultraflex Reflex RS. You can see there's the Ultracraft RS. That's the older model. This is the newer one, so I have the newer one. So this is a pulse releasing module. I don't have that. That's very expensive. I don't think it's necessary for what I do. So I got no add-on module, and then choose application, general purpose. And then here are the resins that they have for their machine. Clay orange one, modeling. I think this is the regular stuff. This is another type of regular stuff. It tells you what it does. This is the setting you use when you use the third-party resin. So if you use like Sunlu, Elegoo, or whatever, you pick this one right here. But sometimes other resins will expose differently, so you have to use a different setting. So you have to test these settings out on different resins. Generally, this one works on everything, but there is a spreadsheet on the Hager's Facebook page, and they have a layout on what resin works best where. This is the ABS stuff, which is really terrible. I've tried it. I think it is not good for my application. And this is the one I am currently using, the PARP10. It looks purplish, but it kind of looks gray too. So I will select that. And here's the different thicknesses, right? Choose layer standard 50 UM, and then there's the 30 high precision. So I'm going to use the 30 high precision. There's an experimental one which I'm not sure what exactly that is. I think it's something that they're working on, but I will usually go 30 because it'll be a lot more finer. The print will be longer. If you use 50, the print will take about an hour and 50 minutes. If you use the 30, it'll be about 4 hours. So it prints a lot finer. And then I'll just go to here to apply, and that's what I'm picking. And then here's the build plate, and it tells me to drop something on there. And then I'm going to drop the dart with no wing. And that's what I have right there. And I'm going to open that up. So here's the dart with no wing. There's two models. There's dart with a wing and dart without a wing. So I have this on here. This is already scaled correctly as we had it designed. This is to spin it on here. And what we do is we add supports. I usually use the standard supports that, I'm going to pick the model, that Hager's recommends. I've tried doing it another way. It doesn't really work well and ends up failing it. And I just don't do it. I just have to kind of really, I've been experimenting here and there, but you know, when you experiment, you start using resin. This resin isn't cheap. It's pretty expensive. It's more expensive than the Elegoo one, because the Elegoo one you get 2,000 grams for a good deal, whereas compared to 1,000 grams you have to do on this machine, because only 1,000 gram bottle fits in the back of that machine that slides through it, and I'll show you that in a minute. We go back out there, and that's what I use. So I try not to experiment too much because it gets real expensive. You could go through 3,000 grams of resin pretty quickly when you screw up a lot. And I've done that, and it gets a little frustrating. So right here, there is a one-click slicer. The machine will do everything for you, but I like doing this on my own. So I'll hit auto supports, and I have my lift right there when I want it at 5. I don't mess with these. There's an advanced setting in here that you could do things to where it would, manipulate it. But then what happens, and I've tried it on 2 cars, it ends up failing it. So I really wanted it to be easier to remove supports, like in less time to soak in the alcohol, but I let it soak for about 4 hours and it's fine. It just takes longer, but it comes out fine. There is some things that I think that they do that they over support the car, which I'm going to eliminate here. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to click the auto support and generate it, and it's going to generate the auto support, the supports on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do manual support setting, and it's doing its business here. Load up. Any questions you guys got on this, ask me away. I'll tell you what I know. So now we have this right here, and then all I'm going to do is go to manual. I got to select the model. See, this is what I don't like about this supporting right here. See all this right here? This is a real pain in the ass to remove. They even have it in the scoop there. Oh no, there's no scoop. I thought that was scoop. Duh. This is a flathead one, that's why they didn't have it on scoop. So sorry about that. So you see all this right here. This is, to me, it's kind of overkill. But they're engineers, and this is kind of really, machine is really based on what they recommend, period. But it's just, you just have to use what they have, and you could alter it a little. I haven't used a flex plate yet. I have a decent angle on your raft. Popping the product off the plate is easy enough with a putty knife blade. Yep, correct. So I'm going to go manual, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this because I hate all this stuff. See, I turn it green, and this gets tedious, and you go delete support. And you just got to do it to one at a time, delete support. And this is the part where you got to sit here and do this crap. And take your time and just remove all this. This doesn't need to be supported. I've done it on other cars without these. And then what it does, it just, to me, it leaves too many imprints on it, and sometimes it can be a little bit hard to clean, because post-cleaning it becomes a little bit more difficult. And that's why I'm doing this. I didn't do it to the other ones I did. I ended up cleaning up. It just took me longer to clean up, but I'm going to do it this way to try and eliminate that. This ain't going to affect the print. I'm pretty sure it won't, because it's really not anything that needs to be heavily supported. It's not going to cause an issue, in my opinion. But again, it could be wrong. But see, this is the thing about finding out. But it'll be a little bit expensive if I screw up, because that resin's not cheap. That's just wasted resin. But I'm pretty positive and confident that I won't have an issue doing this, because cleaning all this up is really a pain in the butt. It takes a while to scoop this out, and then you have to use a toothbrush and sometimes a toothpick to pick them. And I just, it gets a little tough. That's why you got to soak them in the alcohol a lot longer so that it softens them really good. This stuff is actually pretty tough. I think this resin's a little bit more denser. Excuse me. It takes more time to clean up, and it's just, to me, it's just too much. I just don't like doing it. Having to do all that extra work if I don't need to. But then what we're going to do is we're going to slice this, and when it's done slicing, we'll send it to the printer, and then we'll go to the printer and I'll show you how to start it up. And again, oh baby, there you go. No, I don't want to add support. I'm trying to add supports there. It turns green like that, it's when you're getting rid of them. Alright, there we go. So that looks pretty good. The body here, I think this is kind of, again, for this is overkill in my opinion. Like, again, Hager's is, it's engineers that recommend this stuff, and It's just on bodies like this doesn't need all the support in my opinion. Not on the side, because one thing, it's just, I've done it before like this on some of the other ones. It's just too much dimples in the body, and we're trying to get less, how would you say, less time for you guys to having to sand these things. Not that they're hard to sand, they sand pretty easy, and sand pretty nice. So, but if I could avoid leaving dimples, small dimples, and less cleanup time, then I will do it. Just makes it just easier for everybody and for myself. But if I'm wrong, which like I said, I'm confident I'm not, then this will probably be an issue, but I don't think it will, because it's got a lot of supports on the inside. This thing's heavily supported. Very, very heavily supported. The only thing it won't let me do is remove the orange ones. So the ones that are highlighted orange, why did it add that on there? It won't let me do it. That's the part that sucks. So this right here, I can't take any of these out. They won't let you do that. The only ones that are blue. Orange ones are a must. That won't let you do it. So I'll do that. So on the back here, you see it. Hey, look at any questions here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm looking at the phone here. Hold on a second. Jerry, so you are just printing the body horizontal. Did you not find any benefits of angling? I don't angle it. Other people angle it. It doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong. I just, my preference. If you want to angle it, go ahead. I find the best way myself for my machines is level. George, sorry if I miss information on the software you are showing. Is that Blender? No. The software is called Blueprint. It's only for Hager's printers. That's the only slicer that it uses is Blueprint. You can't use any other slicer on this printer. That's why I'm saying about this printer. It's pretty advanced and it's very specific. So if you don't want to get caught in that, that's why I recommend using buying the Elegoo one. The Elegoo one is nothing against this printer. This thing has more advantages. Like you could put, for example, I could put fonts in here, and I'll show you that. Which I probably should have done that before I frickin' did this, but I don't have any fonts on this computer, so I can't really show you. You could add labels to this if you want to, before supporting it. But I could show you that afterwards when I'm done with these here. And I'm just again taking these off because it's just a preference, because I don't want to have to deal with all this. And post cleaning, like post prepping, post cleaning, whatever you want to call it. Usually post cleaning a print could be a lot of work if takes longer. See, it'll add supports too here when you don't want it to. Stupid thing. And again, this is tedious work. I mean, if you guys want to go and do something like this, you can, but you got to remember you'll get frustrated with errors, and I'll kind of show you some of the errors that I went through to have a better understanding of it. But again, it's not, it's exciting to get into 3D printing, but it also can be frustrating and kind of expensive if you keep screwing up and using a lot of resin. So here's all the supports on the bottom. So that's pretty good. I'm going to go with that. And I am finished. Finish. Okay. So now there you go. So now I got the model the way I want it. I don't have all the supports in the front. That's fine right there where it's at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to slice. Right here I got high precision 30 Z compensation, anti-aliasing. Fuzzing is one that is supposed to be the one to keep them from making, the little areas, keep it anti-aliasing area. So I have the anti-aliasing on, and fuzzing. It's kind of like the grayscale thing on the Elegoo. So I have it call it anti-fuzzing. So I'll have it at 4. So then I'll hit slice, and then it'll slice the model, and it'll go right here. This is your current one sliced, and here's the other ones that I have on here. And you can come over here and get out of there if you want, and it'll continue slicing. Here's the device. It's idle. All the stuff I've sent to the printer. It's saying these right here because I'm not on my Mac, and these are showing on my account, but it's not on this computer. It's on the Mac. Because you can log into one computer and it'll log out of the other one. You can't stay logged into two. You can't sign into two computers at the same time. It has to be, different, different logins, single logins. So I think CAD software can take a while. Yeah. I want to also learn Blender to modify files, but I'm getting a case of slow brain and tough for me. Blender takes a lot. It's not easy to use. It takes a lot to, I had to have Dave do stuff for me because Dave has really gotten really good at it. So while that's slicing, I could go here, and then I also have Cheeto Box right here. So here's Cheeto Box for this, for this right here. Now, you guys want to, I guess the guy who has a printer, I know Jerry does. So if you have a Saturn 4, I could tell you my settings, what I use, and to help you out to print a nice smooth file, but you got to email me for that. And then I'll send you screenshots of what my printer is set at. And all the settings that I have for cars, most of them with good files work great. Oh, okay. There you go. Thanks. How you doing, Tony Tibbs? Thanks for coming in. So, it's all different how I have my settings. Harry's, Dave's, and myself are all the same. And we pretty much do the same thing. Well, maybe slightly different on some things, not very much, but we get the same results. So here's that dart again. And when I go to supports, I use middle. And you can see I have upper tip diameter is 0.20. And then raft shape is cross grid. That's what this is right here. So if you want to skate, it'll be a skate. You see how that changes? None. You don't want to use none. I use a cross grid. And then touch tip distance. As you see there, I use 4.00. That's just telling you the distance between each of the supports. Closer, the more denser, the lower the number. The more wider, the higher the number, and less. Support angle. As you can see, it tells you the angle that they're at. We're at 45.00. And those are the basic ones we use. I use middle. Light, I don't use light because light on some bodies it'll be too heavy, and then the body will actually come off the supports and you'll have a failed print. We'll talk about failed prints in a minute, what to do about that. And then we have the advanced settings. So here we go. It tells you right here all the different points. Now I touch shape, I have none. I don't have a cone. You can do a cone. I do none, or spear. And then contact diameter is how much it's penetrating into the model. So I have it at 15. And then the connection shape is the cone. The upper tip diameter is 0.20, and then I have tip down diameter 1.20, and then the connection length is 2.00. Then in the middle, we have cylinder for the shape. We have diameter 1.20, angle 70.00. Small pillar shape is a cone. Diameter is 0.50. Upper depth in millimeters is 0.30 millimeter. I mean, they all say millimeters, so. And lower depth's the same at 30. Maximum spacing of the cross structure is 30.00. You can see what that's telling you, how far spaced they are right there. And then the cross start height is 3.00. Excuse me. When you click these, it tells you what it gives you an illustration, which is kind of cool about Cheeto Box. So I have a skate platform for the the bottom of my supports. Right? I just use skate. You could use cone, cube. I just use skate. Touch diameter is 12.00. Thickness of the raft is, see, the thickness of the supports actually is 0.50. Model contact shape, none. Contact diameter 0.60, contact depth 0.20, and the contact point is 1. And on my raft, I have cross grid. Raft angle is a 100% ratio. The thickness I have 30. I don't like to put too thick because it wastes resin. And then these are all grayed out. You don't need to worry about that. And then my grid side height is 2.0, and then grid width is 2.00. So those are the ones I use. And if you guys want screenshots of this, just email me at 2004kid@gmail.com. I know I have a slingshot email, but that doesn't work because Google's being a bunch of punks about that. Then what I do is I hit I hit, there we go, auto support. There's another thing you could do also if you have bodies that are not like this, that are well put together designs. You could go in the model here and add supports. And I won't do that because it gets, well, I can do that. So say I want to add a support, I'll hit a plus, and I'll come right here, I'll put a contact point, and then, let me see, that's not doing, I don't want to do that. So I'll have to do that on a different model. Okay. Anyway, so this is how, you can see on the bottom where all the contact points are at. This is how Elegoo supports. So let's remove everything, clear all, and we're going to go over what Harry does on some of his, because sometimes on, not these ones, but on other models where we get earlier, we were having problems with the side sagging. He's taught us this. So you get this right here, and you put a support, back up here, there you go. You get the inside, put it right there. What you're going to do, you highlight that, there should be a highlighter right here. It's not doing it. Why is it not doing it? Hold on a second. Alright. Not doing what I want to do. Do something here. Come on, baby. Alright, clear all. Let's do this again. Alright. Okay. It doesn't want to do it. Gosh darn it. So usually when you, here we go. So I click this one right here. Sorry, you add one, the big truss support, you put the add, and you come over here and click this, and you get a circle on here, and you'll do this. I won't do it. There it goes. So you see how this goes out like that? So you're adding support, you're spidering it out. So if you want to support the inner part of the body to keep it from like getting those lines or sagging, this is a way of doing it. And you could go along, you know, the rest of the car. Get rid of that. And go to the next one, right? Come over here, click off that. Let me go back here. All right. We'll do another one, and then we'll click here. Click here. Double click it. Come on. There we go. Get rid of those lines that, you know, vector lines, you know, the height and the width and all that. And then you go here. See how you spider it? You're supporting the inside of this body, and that'll prevent it from doing the ripple. And then you could just add your supports too. So when you're done, that's going all wonky. So we'll click that off. Say when you're done, say you're done doing your inside work, right? We'll come out here. That's already on there, so you're going to go auto support. It says, do you want to use existing supports? You go no, and it'll leave them in there. So now you have the supports there, and then you have the ones you added inside the body. You can't see them because we have them in there. So that's how you support the inside of it, so you don't have a lot of rippling deals, you know, where it ripples in the body from sagging. And that's from other files that we've dealt with. These files that we got for the dirt cars are really, it's not necessary to do that. You can do that. That's totally up to you. And then, see how this moved like this? The stupid thing, if you click these and do this, you could do this on accident. See how that moves out? You got to be careful of that. And I think it was 30 that I had it at. I can't even remember now. That's why I have my settings. So if I forget, I screenshot stuff. So that was right here. So I could go back to this and I could see, okay, it was at 20. So it's good to, when you get something that works, make sure you do a screenshot and save your settings. There you go. Because sometimes when you click this and you use the scroll mouse, it'll change it. See how I was doing this? I was clicked onto this, see how I'm moving it? And sometimes it may change this on accident. So you got to be careful of that. It's very easy to do. But and here's the thing about you know, this software. So I have Cheetah Manager, which you download separately, and then it loads it on here. And Cheetah Manager tells me my printers that are here. So I have my camera on this one. I could turn the camera on, and I could see the print. I can see the machine printing right now. You know, it's a little feature there. It's kind of cool. And in here, it'll tell you the historical record, what I printed in the past. Excuse me. It also has this feature where you could download the recorded, how would you say, the recorded thing of, you know, what you're printing, like a video. It'll only do a quick video. I'll download it and I'll show you. And then you have here the view device files. Hold on a second. Not working. Oh, okay. Pick that one actually. That's not the device files, but if you just click, in general, you can see the percentage. You could stop it. One thing that's good about these printers right here, the Elegoo, is that if you have a power outage, the machine will shut off if you have a power outage in the middle of a print. Say it happens in the middle of a print. You're like, oh crap. This is the thing I like about the Elegoo printer, is that when the power comes back on, the machine will start back where it left off at, and it'll tell you, do you want to continue? You hit continue, and it'll continue printing. That's what's the beauty of this machine. If that happens to the Hey Gears one, you're screwed. It won't do that. You'll have to, at least not yet, you'll have to take it off as it's half printed and then start all over again. So this is why I like the Elegoo machines for beginner people, because if you want to get into printing, it's a good machine, and you could ride it like a whore, trust me, because I have. There's things you need to do it to maintain it, which I'll get into in a minute here. We'll go back out there and then I'll explain. So here's a video of the print. So see, it just does a high-speed print, and it shows you the car you printed. That's all it is. It's just high-speed print of what, you know, what was printed. Yeah, that's all it does. It doesn't do like a long video, but and then I have the other printer here, the small one. You could hook up your Mars, you know, Ultra. So the regular Mars and the regular Saturn won't do that. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. You can't connect this way. You have to take it to there and put it on the jump drive and put it in there. Yeah, Hey Gears is in a way, I would say yes, it's like a Ferrari, man, because you know, you can only use their software, you can only do this, you can only do that. That's the way it is, and it's a good machine. It's not a bad machine. It's great for making molds and other stuff, and making bodies, but you have to really work around it. Excuse me. Okay, we're gonna go back out to the garage, and you can take another tour into my house again. And I'll turn the camera on. You're gonna see me. And we're gonna thank our sponsor. We're gonna go back out to the garage. The Area 51. Well, you're here. And we're gonna go back out to the garage. It's a little bit chilly today here in North Carolina. Not too bad. It's like in the high 50s, I think. And back up to the garage. I'm going to discuss the maintenance things of a printer. Run into. Okay. Here we go. All right. So here's rule number one. Okay, I'm going to give you a little set of rules. Number one. Oh, make sure I didn't turn off the live. All right. Okay. Rule number one when you're printing. If you're printing a body or whatever you're printing, and it's like ski wampus, it looks like it's sagging, it's failed, basically. It's called a failed print. Rule number one, you must, and this is a must, because you'll cause yourself a lot of pain and freaking frustration, and I'll show you in a second. This is the Hey Gears vat tank. And this is my backup tank. I have two tanks, or two vats, or two tanks. When you have a failed print, this is what's going to happen. whatever crap that's fallen on the bottom of this tank from the failed print is what's going to affect a lot of things. It could, number one, damage the screen. The screens are about 120 bucks, so you'll be out 120 bucks and the machine down. The print will come out like shit on the next one if it doesn't damage the screen, because it'll be blocking the UV light. So what I recommend you do is, if you have a failed print and it's you're going to think it's a pain in the ass, but it's going to save you a lot of time, is when you have a failed print, you run what's called the tank cleaning, and it's on the settings. And I'll show you on this machine right here what I'm talking about. Put that down. And we're going to go over to the little one because it has that setting on there just like the big one. So here's the little machine, okay? So what you're going to go is you're going to go to Tools and you're going to go to Tank Cleaning. And I would recommend 15 seconds should be fine. And you can hit Start. Okay, this is after you find out you have a failed print. You take it off the build plate, take the plate off the machine. Don't leave the plate on the machine because I've done it. Remove the failed print and take the plate off and put it on the tray. Run the tank cleaning, okay? And when you run the tank cleaning, you're going to remove the vat from the machine, right? And you're gonna inspect the machine itself, you know, the screen. So we'll say you take this off, right? I'm gonna do this for you guys because it's a little bit of work for me. I'm going to take this off, right? Say I have a failed print. Oh, shit, failed print. Move it over here. Gosh, damn it. Shit happens. And then you're going to get the tank and take it out. All right? Hopefully I don't make a mess. And what you're going to do is inspect the screen. Okay? And why are we inspecting the screen? Hold on a second. I'm trying to do this without spilling it all over. Okay, and what you're going to do is inspect your screen, and you're going to inspect for any residue on the screen. Now, there's a screen protector on this LCD. As you can see, there's black tape here. I don't know if you can see it. That's a screen protector, okay? And then underneath is the screen itself. I already threw a screen out, so I can't show you one I have. I dumped them because they were garbage. So what you do is, when you take it out and inspected it and you don't see anything, you know, wrong with it, you could check the screen itself to see if it's like not projecting very well or something's wrong. So I'll hit LCD. Let me go down here. I'll show you what I did. So I go to Tools and then I go to LCD exposure. So I'm going to do the full grid. And I'm going to inspect all this. See how nice and clear it is? Looks good. There's no melted shit on there, and sometimes if you have a spill, it could get under this and it'll cloud it up, and then you'll get failed prints. See, that's how you check. You can do grid, right? You can do the Elegoo text, and you're just checking the screen to make sure everything's good. So when you've done that and that's okay, then that's when you take that resin, and they have filters that come with the resin, and you put it back into the bottle and drain it. And the reason why you do that, I'm going to put this back in there, so hold on a second, I'll explain. The reason why you do that is that you want to inspect the FEP screen itself to make sure that there's no damage to it. Ooh, God, this is pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. Make sure I don't spill anything. Alright. A little bit on the edge there, but then you run out, which is good. You don't want that stuff going everywhere. Trust me. Let me calibrate this real quick. Hold on a second. No. Device self-test. So let me put the down back there. Anyways, I got that back on. I'm doing a self-test. So what you want to do is, when you have a failure on the screen, excuse me, let me put my hands here. When you have a failure and you drain it out, what you want to do is inspect this. Now this is a screen protector here. So you're going to inspect the FEP. You're going to inspect it for like any holes any like dimples, or as Harry calls them, Gorbachevs. There'll be like little dimples and little grayed out areas because this if it gets damaged, is what's going to leak through and cause an issue. So if you don't see any of that, like it's cloudy, and usually when it tells you it's time to change the FEP, I would recommend doing it, or the whatever the film is, FEP, FP, FE, whatever. It's got different names. I recommend changing it because you're going to run into a lot of heartbreak with having failed prints. And yeah, tell me how I know, because I've done it. And that's why it's good to have a backup tank and have a 5-piece. You know, they come in 5 pieces for like $40. And it's a pain in the butt, not a pain in the butt. It's just time consuming to change all this. But in the long run, it really helps you out. It's a real big help because it keeps you from having failed prints. That's why I have a backup tank. Because if I'm doing printing, I'm like, crap, I got to change the film. Then I have this tank. I could throw it on there, put resin in there, and then take the other one and take my time cleaning it. And that's what you do. But this one's a little bit more involvement when you are changing the film on this. It just takes a little bit more time. These tanks are about $40 to $50. They're not super expensive. So it's really good. Do failed prints happen after you get the settings right? No, they shouldn't, unless your the little VAT FEP is worn out. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So for this machine right here, I forget the count what it goes to when it tells you time to change. I think it's 60,000, but I could be wrong. How many pulls it's done. So this right here, it's at release usage film count is at 2516. So I just changed this not too long ago. And then when this gets to, I think, 60,000s of pulls and it tells you it's time to change it, I recommend doing it because it'll really save you a lot of grief. And I'm going to show you what happens. So when you're done changing it, you hit this little button right there, a little circle, and it'll reset the count because it did a calibration here. And that's what I've done. So I'm going to put this build plate back here because I don't need it out. I put the cover on and leave it be. It's a cord that's caught there. Okay. So going back to changing it, it's super important to do that because if you don't change it, you start getting this. This is a perfectly good file, and that machine, I let it go longer, and this is what happens. You start getting that. So this is good on this side, but on this side, not so good. And that's because the screen or the FEP, the film is used up. It starts being an issue. So you can see what happens there. That sucks because this would be a good car, but maybe you can make a mod of it, seeing it's not even all the way. These things are pretty flexible. They have a certain breaking point. This is weak because of that part there, but they do have movement. See, after so far they will break just like regular resin that you cast, but that's what happens. You have a bad one and you just get rid of it, or if you can make it a mod. That I can't really make a mod because the wheel wells are all screwed up, but that's just an example of that. Now on the hay gears one, it's a little bit easier to change this because it comes with just this piece right here. Okay, so you see resin residue. I got to clean this, haven't done it. So these right here, they're a little bit more money because they come already kind of pre-assembled. And I'll show you. Pre-assembled meaning it's got this already in there, built in. So all you do is just bolt it in. Whereas I don't have to change the film off this one that's in there. And that's the difference. It's a little bit more money. This is like about $100 for both of these because it comes in pairs. And you don't have to worry about resetting the film on the machine because it's got that little, and I'll show you, that little chip that I don't know if you saw it, it's like a little connection point. It's right here. It's got this right here that communicates to the machine and tells it, hey, this is a brand new FEP. It kind of records how many pulls is on this. This is what happened to this one was it had a hole. You can see right there. and it was leaking. And I got an extra tank because what happened was, you see these pads right here? These actually are really important. They're like little stickers in a way. You can peel them off. One of these came off, and this vat was just tilted by however thick that is. Man, it's super thin, and it caused the machine to not want to print. And I had to email Hey Gears, and they said, "Hey, can you flip it over and send us a picture of the back of it?" And I identified one of these was missing, and they said, "Your problem is that this is missing." So I asked them, "Hey, do you have any of these stickers? Just send them to me. I'll put it back in the position it's in." They says, "No, we don't have no stickers, so we'll send you a whole new vat." So they sent me the entire new vat. So I got a whole vat here that I could just change that, and this is ready to go. And I take that out and put it on. I got lucky. So I mean, they sell these too, but they didn't have any of these at the time, or they thought they didn't have any of the release film to send me. So they just sent me a whole new tank as the warranty, because the machine had just come out, and they didn't want me to have to wait until they started producing these. They had these already in stock. So that's the story behind that. But again, it's one of those things that this is what you run into when you resin print. You run into little problems like this, and it's just part of the process of you doing this. And it just depends on how much patience you have with this, because it takes a lot of patience. So, but anyways, so that file was sliced from the Hey Gears printer, and I didn't send it because I didn't show you that. Usually you'd send it here, and it will come up as job list, and then you print it from here. That's the only difference between this machine and that one, is that this one you could remotely tell it to print. This one you can't. You could send the file, but you can't tell it to print. I think they're going to take care of that sooner or later, because they do have an option for the reflex where you could remotely start it, but not this one yet. So I don't know why they haven't done it, but I'm sure they will, because they try and improve these things little at a time as they go about doing stuff. It's not like they're doing it on purpose. It's just to try to improve the software little by little. So it'll get there. Again, when you have a brand new thing, because this machine is still a brand new machine that's on the market that they're still improving. It takes more time to get everything settled. Taking off?
No, you're here.
All right. No, yeah, it's all right. It's my sister leaving.
I'm going to Target. Do you need anything?
No, can you get some cough drops for Dee Dee?
Yes.
I'll give you Venmo for it. So.
That's
All right. That's my sister. So, let me look at any of the questions. I know Harry's been helping me out, and Dave's here. Hey, Dave, how you doing? So, let me go. There's a lot of people on here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm glad that you guys are answering the questions here. So, receive the Saturn IV plus Mercury G to Christmas, Georgia. We'll email you later for the specs. Sure, Valentine, no problem. That star supports is fiddly. Yeah, it's not that hard to do, Jerry. And really, I recommend it on files that are not the dirt car files that we have. If you go to like 3D printables and you're getting like a 55 Chevy, and then you put that on there and then it sags, that's really helpful. I recommend you do that. Very much so. Buffering. What else here? It looks like we buffered a little. We're buffering. But it does help. Harry, does it matter 2.0 or 3.0? Okay, so I see if Harry answered that question on Valentine had, which is, Harry, does it matter 2.0 or 3.0 resin? Okay, so, damn it, come on, tell me this thing stopped. I think we buffering a little bit. So if you could hear me, I hope you can, because it shows the screen here on my iPad. It stopped. It looks like it's still going here. All right. So the 2.0, the difference between the 2.0 and the 3.0 is the 3.0 is the cheaper version, and it has more fluidity. That's what Elegoo has told me. So it still works. I'd use the 3.0. It gives you the same results. It's just a cheaper resin. But I just stick with the 2.0 because I just like the 2.0. It's just my preference. But you could use 3.0 with those same settings, and you should get the same results. So, let me get back over here. Once it shows this thing stalled. Sure. All right. I'm looking through the comments here. Cheap and okay. Answer the star question, Jerry said. Dave, join us. Yep, there you go. Unless the FEP, the fat is film is worn or the resin is contaminated, your principal should have high success rate. That is correct, because it really does a number on everything. How thick are you shooting for normally? 1.8, 1. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean the thickness of the body is 1.5. That's what we have it at, 1.5. Dusty hillbilly dirt touches. Sounds like that. Jerry, it's possible to store resin in warm area heaters on the machine. Resin. Yep, there you go. That's correct. So, let me see. Oh, my iPad isn't connecting again. Have a lot of traffic in this. Jerry, yes, I am, and this group is to blame. JD Sports, slot car bodies, yes, sir. JD's sports room, slot car bodies, it is. I get rid of the floaters after field print. Yeah, I actually clean the whole thing out. I don't, like, again, I don't screw around, because you do that and you end up with just shit prints. And again, if you have an excellent file and you get a shit print and it doesn't look right because it's distorted or something is not right, where part of the body didn't come out, and then that means that's an issue with your tank film and debris in it, and also debris being in it. Remember that when you get debris in that tank, that plate goes down, and what it's doing is smashing it against the screen. And if it's a big enough piece and it compresses it, it'll fracture the screen and damage it. And you get a bigger problem, because I don't have photos of it. I do have photos of it. I just can't show you right now. You can see how part of it will come out all really gooey, and it just looks terrible, and that's because the screen is damaged. So, and screens do have actually a life usage as well. I forget how much it is. It has a count in the program. It tells you. Changing the screen isn't hard. I did it the hard way and found out there's an easier way, because they didn't really have an instruction on how to do it. You take the back of the panel out, and you take the screen protector off, and you have to pry it off, because there's sticky tape around there. But you could use a hair dryer, which somebody has done. Harry's done it. You learned from another video. And hair dry it, get it warm, and then it peels off. You will crack the old screen because it's really glued on there well. And then when you get the new screen, it comes with little strips of double-sided tape is what it is. And I only use 2 because I don't want to have to sit there and pry the whole thing off, because it's sitting down anyway in a tray, inside an area where it sets in, and then you put your screensaver over it. So I mean, it's not hard to do, but you will go through it. The screen on this was replaced not too long ago, so I mean it identifies when you have a new screen in there, also will detect that. It just won't. It'll just doesn't do what like the Hager's does with the film detecting it. Auto, just say auto count reset, because it has that little bar in there that reads it. Whereas the other it doesn't. It goes by a count when you look at it. Because you could reset that count, but after that, you're risking a failed print or issues, and then you're going to get frustrated because you're like, gosh dang it, maybe it's my settings. I've done that. I've gone and redid all my settings and changed it, and still the same result. You can find out that it was the screen and also the that will cause an issue. So, but anyways, so let's see. Show you what. 4 projects in the works right now. Those we Falcon body from Jordan and the one on the bench. Cool. Show me some 132nd, 124 scale, 125th. So what do you want to see? You want to see 132nd? I have some 132nds here. They were in the printer. Here's 132nd for you. Okay. Here you go. This is a Pontiac Ventura. That's 132nd dirt body. These will be available at Slot Car Corner in a few weeks, because that's what I'm currently working on here. There you go. And the other one is the, great. The other one is the new Barracuda. And this one we just got done. This was made for us. And this is a Barracuda, 68. So, 67. You Dodge guys should be able to do it. But yep, these will be available in mid-January. I'm working on everything. I got still about 10 cars to print. Takes a while. These take 4 hours to print. So you're talking about, right now this is 43 hours and 41 minutes left. There's 50 minutes times used. The layers are about 2,100 layers, so that's a lot of layers. The Hager's one, I think it's 1,800 when you use their setting. On there, see, it's a little different from machine to machine and from brand to brand. But again, I find this machine right here, the Saturn 4, an excellent machine if you want to start out with. It's you can basically start out resin printing for about, see, you include resin and materials and all that, and the curing machine for about, I'd say under 800 bucks. Because that curing machine is on Amazon. It's a curing and drying station that suddenly won. That's like about 100 bucks. The alcohol, you figure you get 6 bottles to start of that 91%, or you can use 71%, which Harry does if you have to scrub more. It's cheaper. You're looking at about like $40 in material. Those trays are like 8 bucks. You know, it comes with a putty knife. Those things are from the dollar store. These right here, I'll show you. So these are from the dollar store. So then, you know, the alcohol. So you're looking at probably about 150 bucks. That's including curing station and all that. You can get a cheaper curing station if you want. I just do it this way because to me it's more reasonable to do it in this fashion. And just to me it's just cheaper to start out with, and you know, the resin, the machine. The resin's about for 2,000 grams. I can't what the heck it is for. I think it's like 50 bucks, and that's the Elegoo 2.0, and that's what I use. Do you try the Elegoo detergent? So the detergent, I tried it. It doesn't do shit really, to be honest. I think fucking hand soap, excuse my language, is the best thing to use. I think it's kind of a gimmick. I wouldn't use it. So here we go. We'll take this one off here. So here's one that's been soaking. You see, it's still a little tough. There you go. See how it pops off? That's a real good print. That's excellent. That just popped off like that. That's what you want. With the Hager's one, it takes a little bit more time to pop those off. When it's been sitting in there, you just have to peel it off, but it comes off like that. That's how you want it to break off. You're gonna wait, and there's the body. See, it's been soaking in the dirty. Now I put it in the clean wash. You know, just kind of rub it a little. Make sure there's no remnants of the, you know, any supports stuck to it. Sometimes I'll have it on the back of the plate here. Like that. Well, I'll let it soak there for a little bit. And then all I'll do is I'll hand wash that with soap, you know, some detergents, you know, just regular hand soap. And then dry it off a little with a towel. Put it in that machine there. And that has a drying fan in it. And I'll put it for 20 minutes, 10 minutes to dry fan, and then 10 minutes to cure. Because it's got a UV blue light in there, and this thing turns on the turntable and cleans everything. Or excuse me, cures everything that cleans. I try and always keep a neat work area. Any stuff that, you know, keep it clean, keep it neat, because you can make a mess real easily. And yep. Hey Chris, how you doing? Would you want to use a brush on it to clean it? Yeah, you can. You could use terry cloths, strips of terry cloths. I don't have any terry cloths because I would usually rub with the terry cloth in there, but they've been coming out clean because this alcohol is really clean. You can tell the difference. When this starts getting really saturated, real gray, I'll put it in these containers and I'll put it out in the sun, and then I'll cure it. And then when it's cured and hardened, I could throw it in the trash, and you're disposing of it properly. That way you're not, you know, destroying the environment. And we don't want any tree huggers coming after Area 51 Raceway. So But that's that's the way we do it. Then that is, pretty much, soak it in there a little bit, 5-10 minutes, and I'll take it and wash it by hand with soap, dry it a little, and I'll put it in here. And I'll turn this on. It's 10 minutes dry, and then 10 minutes of UV. And this thing spins in a little fan in there. That's a good little dry and curing station from Sunroof. It works real well. I know there's other ones like the Mercury one. The thing about the Mercury one is you can't lay a body like this. You have to tilt it up. And that's what I didn't like about the Mercury, and that's why I just don't use it. I do have a washing station and stuff like that. I just don't use it. I like this method. It's just my preference. You don't have to do it this way. You could get, a washing station and still do it that way and just have a nice clean bath to stick the model in, because that will get dirty like that after so many prints get put in the washing station. But for bodies, I just do it this way. But it doesn't mean my way's right. It's just my preference. So, hey, see ya, Dusty. You see, now that my pad's connected again. Let's see, any more questions come up on anything? All right. I think that's it. Gotta go, fellas. Dusty said bye. Yeah. We just try using a brush. Answer that. Small paintbrush works fine, just like Harry says. It works good. You can just strip some terry cloth too to clean the body, and then when you rub in the body, you'll get that squeaky cleanness. Like it'll be nice and squeaky clean. So, but I'll probably get this and take it to, my sink, which I can do that for you guys. So I have these little tongs here. This is all old dollar store tongs. Take it out. I'll put it right here. Right. Let it dry a little. That's like a dollar store tongs. You get this cheap stuff. And then like for little parts, I put it in the little cut containers right here. You see this? These containers. That's for small, wheel inserts. And then I'll get this. This has holes I drilled through it. And I'll just pick them up to that, sweep them, and put them here. And it's just another method. I'll use a toothpick to clean like little grills that have pieces of support in there. I'll use that to clean it off or to pick them off. And then a toothbrush to clean it as well, like to get supports to come off a little bit easier if they're stuck on the body. And for some bodies, they'll do that, and just stuff like that. And then just, I'll wash this, which we could do is I'll take it in there. I have the Mercury and I use it, but you still have to scrub bodies after they did their early wash. Basically, just remove the heavy residue. Yep, that's right. I'm wondering if you add a rotisserie mechanism to your wash tub would benefit. No, not really. They have it in these, and the Mercury one has that. That's what this is. See this impeller here? That's what it does. It connects to. This is a magnetic. It spins on a plate, on a little round plate, and these are attached magnets that are on that magnetized to that plate. And this has an impeller and it does that. But this method to me is just works better. It's just my preference. Doesn't mean I'm right. Like I say that constantly because I don't want people to be thinking that I'm the correct way of doing stuff. So we'll go over to the sink. We'll go back in the house. I got the model here. Open the door. If you see a dog, don't worry, because she doesn't bite. Your tea. She's probably upstairs. Okay, we're in the laundry room. You guys get to see the inner workings of Area 51's home. And we're going to take it here to the sink. All right. Here's the sink. There's a dirty dish that I had to put in the dishwasher still. What I'll do is we got the sunlight here, so I don't want to put it in the sunlight. Cure it in the sunlight. The sunlight will cure it. I'll put it right over here. Rub it down. Keep it out of the sunlight. Showing you she's cleaning it. And just gets the residue off. These bodies are nice. Really nice and solid. and not too thick and not too thin. It's just like the perfect thickness at 1.5 millimeters, which Dave, find out what that is for me, will you? In thousands. I want to say 50,000. I'm not sure. I suck at numbers sometimes. And I'll get a paper towel and just kind of dry it off. And then what I'll do is we'll go back out. And I reuse these because if you throw these out, don't. Take these out there and you can use this to clean resin. That's what I do to kind of keep down from wasting paper towels. Paper towels are what you need. You don't need no fancy rags. Paper towels is all you need to do this. Don't buy any fancy microfiber cloth, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just wasting your money. Okay, now we're back here. Right? Okay, now I'm back here where I need to be. And I'll open this up. I got this little piece of styrofoam because just if anything drips, you can see some of it drip on there. It's a turntable. I'll put it in there. Now I'll do drying so you can hear it. There's a little heating, a fan right here. It blows it dry for 10 minutes, and then this is the speed of the fan. You can lower it, make it fat, more powerful, more airflow. And then we'll do, after 10 minutes, go to UV, and the blue light will come on, and it'll still rotate. It'll cure it. If you open it while it's curing, it'll shut off. You see the lights there. So you can't open it up while it's curing. It'll stop it, and then you close it, it'll resume again. So, and that's what that'll do for 20 minutes. And there you go. And you have a cured body like this. See? Nice smooth print. Look at that. No scalloping or, sagging. But this is a real good file. It's only as good as the file that you get, that the print will come out nice. And then of course is the hay gears right here at 50, is it, or 30? Excuse me, So you can see some of the supports a little bit more tedious in this. That's why I reduced them on the other car. Got rid of them because they'll put supports in here and then you have to clean them out, and that gets annoying. And you don't need supports in here. It's kind of overkill. Like I said, hay gears is a little bit overkill in the supporting. But again, it's just their engineers are what they're doing. So what they want to kind of, how they want to do stuff. But see, I have a little window mesh here. I print it out. It's just something I could glue onto the cage. So that's basically the whole operation of everything. So I got a pretty big garage, so as you can see, there's a lot of space in here. So these were the old cabinets in the house, and the owner put them up here. The only thing I wish he did is that these were higher, but I don't think he would have done that because I would like to make these higher, just up another foot, so I can put these machines right here. That's why it's on this cabinet here, because they will not fit in between here. So probably in the future I'll probably have these raised up, because I don't want to replace these because they do come in handy because I don't need anything else. See, this right here is the old stuff, and then what I'll do is I'll take this out and I'll put it in the sunlight and it'll cure it. So I'm going to do that in a second. I'm going to walk out over here and do that. Alright. We'll use connection with the here, so, but do we have any more questions here? Oh yeah, there you go, Jeff. To you. Get the answer to that then. Right, thanks for joining us, Jeff. So thanks for Harry for hanging in here and kind of helping out, and Dave too, because those guys were all experienced in this. I don't know if anybody else has any questions on anything that I can answer. Now I kind of explained everything on what I do. As far as designing the bodies and getting somebody to design to you, it's expensive. It's not cheap. We're doing it because we want to reach out to more people to scratch build. This year coming up is going to be more dedicated to scratch building. I think I like getting cars out of the box, but to me, as I've always said, deep in my heart, scratch building is where it's at. So I'm going to promote more of scratch building this year. I'm going to promote the shit out of it. Just put it that way. We're going to science the shit out of it. That's a movie quote there. So we just want people to get into scratch building more because not too many people do it. If you go and look all over the world, there may be some people in other countries that do it, but it's not as many as somebody, you know, getting a plastic chassis and, you know, making their modifications and stuff. Scratch building is a whole other different area. And we're trying to make that easier with making these bodies the way they are. So the standard bodies that, you know, I've been sending the stock car corner are the ones from 3D printables, and they're just cars like the Mustang and stuff, but you have to hog out the wheel wells. These series of cars, you don't have to do that. And Dave also made an interior last night for me with a net built into it. So we're trying to make it so much easier that you guys could just get a whole kit, put it together for the showdown, paint it how you want it, put whatever numbers, and, you know, just traditional to what a dirt car is, and send it into the race and watch your creation race around the track. That is the gratifying feeling you get from that, because nobody else put that car together. NSR didn't put it together for you. Revo Slot didn't put it together for you. Slotted didn't do it. You did it. That's the whole point of that. You made a creation, and you're seeing it come to life, and you're seeing it run on the track, and that's the excitement of that. And we're trying to make more bodies available, and there are more bodies to come, trust me, but again, it costs a lot of money to have bodies designed. It's not cheap. So we did the first two that you've seen, which is that Dart, which is you cannot get in 1/32, and that Barracuda you cannot get in 1/32. Those two cars are not available on 3D Cults yet. Right now we're printing them for Stock Car Corner. Later on in the year they'll be available if you feel the desire to print and take on this endeavor in printing. You could do that as well. But if you don't want to do that, you can get them to Stock Car Corner and not have to worry about that. That's also why we're doing it. We're trying to make it easier for the guys who are just starting out and, you know, read the rules and see how everything is. The Stock Car chassis kit is all together there. It's it's this one-stop shopping at Stock Car Corner. You just buy a chassis kit, you buy an interior, you buy a body. That's all you need. All you need to do is maybe add netting in the front and the back, because now we're going to try and take care of the side netting on the driver's side, so you don't have to worry about that. And paint, decals, you know, putting your body mounts, and that's it. It's really easy. It's going to be one setup so that you can put the car together and then be done with it. Thanks for going to get that. But that is the whole idea behind all of this collaboration between Harry, Dave, and myself, the three amigos, because we want people to scratch build more. You've seen Dave's stuff. Dave's made hot rod kits. We're trying to make the sky's the limit. We're trying to get American iron more than anything. There are a lot, and I don't get me wrong. I have I'm not capping or like, you know, how would you say, criticizing foreign cars, because there's a ton of them out there you could get for Ferraris, Alphas, BMWs. You know what? I want a piece of America, man. I'm American. I want some American iron. That's why the NASCAR got the Scotty of the Year award, because nobody made NASCARs. That's the first time a NASCAR product has been put out in the market. Now I say that because the other cars that they put out were not NASCAR. They were NASCAR drivers, but they were USAC cars. That's why they were able to get around the NASCAR license, because they weren't really NASCAR. They were just NASCAR drivers that we knew, that they raced in the USAC series. That's what those USAC cars were, the Superbirds and all that Torinos. But these cars they came out with Carrera, those are NASCARs. That's American iron. That's what we need. It's just a lot of cool cars out there, and Harry, Dave, and myself, we're kind of going nuts. We made a list. Man, we got to do this car next. No, we got to do this one. It's like, damn, we got so many choices now because we got somebody helping us out in the design area, and it's just the sky's the limit with that. So that's why we want to promote more scratch building. It's just, to me, it's more self-gratifying and a lot more fun when you can create your own stuff instead of buying something and then throwing it on the track. Which, again, I do that. Not saying anything against anybody that does that. If that's what you like, that's cool. But I think scratch building is something a lot of people need to experience. Because if you experience it one time, I guarantee you, you're not going to stop. Because we've had Marty, who's hooked. We have Dusty, Jeff G, John Tucci, all these guys that started out. I mean, they're freaking building every year, and we're getting more people. That's why we have the 125th series to open up other people who, if they want to go with a bigger car, they can. It's just to keep options open for people to get into scratch building. But again, these bodies, they're being made because there's nothing out there in 1/32 scale. Last year, there was nothing. Me and Harry on the summer race, that's when it started. You know, I approached Harry and I go, hey Harry, you know, what would you think about doing resin, casting bodies like with a resin printer? Because there's this new machine coming out, and I showed it to him and told him what it was. What does Harry do? You know, and I didn't expect it, and that's why I said this. Harry's responsible for all of this. Harry goes, oh, by the way, the machine will be there Friday. I'm like, what? Dude, why'd you do that? I said I was gonna buy it. He says, no, roll with it. Let's see how it works. And he took a chance in me, which I really appreciate that, to see what would happen. And look where we're at now. What, since July? 6-7 months later, I got more bodies coming out of my kazoo in my ears. I can't even count. I got a ton of stuff. So it's just making it the options more greater to build a 1/32 car, and that's what it's all about. But it's just really important that we promote scratch building. When I first started this scratch building thing, which was in I think it was 2019 or 2020, I can't remember. I remember building my first car, and it was a GTO Carrera that I had hogged out the wheel wells and made it look like a dirt car. I even put dirt on it, like makeup to simulate dirt. And I had fun doing that. And then to watch it race and go around the track, and my track, which was Carrera at the time, which did fine, that was like, man, this is cool. And when I sent the car to Harry actually personally called me because I was a first-time person, and I won the Fast Lap Challenge for that particular car. And he says, hey man, you built a really good car. And I told him, well, it was your videos that did it. I just followed the videos that you did on the sneaker chassis, and that's how that came about, and that's how that came about. So that's what started all this, you know, the friendship and all the camaraderie. That's what's really important about it too. That it's just like one-to-one scale cars. Okay, this car right here, this is a 2004 GTO. This car was an example of what I'm talking about with. Sorry, here. This car right here was a friendship that I got involved with a lot of people, and some that are not, they don't have the cars anymore. There's only 1 or 2 people that I know that still have their cars from 15 years ago. I had a friend in California named Ray Gallegos. He still has his car. We did a lot of work to this car, him and I. We were kind of like the wrenches of the club. But this car really brought a lot of, you know, friends and camaraderie, and that's what slot cars do too. It does that, brings people together. Now, obviously, this is more expensive to deal with, so that's why I go to the little cars, because I can afford them. But the whole point is that we just want to get more people into scratch building, more into creativity, more into, you know, doing things together, you know, and with the, you know, with the Facebook and all the social media, you're more connected with people because now you can kind of talk to people through the camera. You get to show pictures on Facebook or on the forum board, what you're doing, what you're creating. So that's just the whole idea of this. That's what the scratch building does. It really creates a lot of like individual creativity, engineering to how they build the car, and it's really cool. So I really want to push that a lot more with scratch building saw cars. So, but now that I'm done ranting, I hope you enjoyed this live. I haven't been reading anything here. Let's see, Gene. How do you scale the file? I downloaded a 124 scale file. Okay, so Gene, we've covered this before on the video. So if you go to here, Jay, can you put that link to where the scale modeler conversion? There's a conversion for scale model. So what you do is you go to say what car it is you got. You go to Wikipedia or type it in a search. Say you want to do Chevelle, you click 69 Chevelle, you go in there and you look at the length in inches, the actual length of the car from bumper to bumper, not the wheelbase. You take that number and you go to the model conversion scale, you put it in inches, and it has a conversion to convert it to 1/32. You click, convert, and it'll do it in millimeters because you need it in millimeters. And it'll give you the millimeter length of the car, and that's the only one you should be able to use right there, the length of the car, because you should automatically lock the other scales in, which is the width and the height, once you enter that number. And that's how you do it. So it's basically using the model scale converter. And I think, yeah, they're good. Harry just put it in there, so cool. Yeah. Okay, cool, Jerry. All right, Harry, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks, Harry, for posting the links. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's all I can tell you. It's a lot of fun doing it. So, but again, I just wanted to do this live on kind of the process. We got 28% on that model. That's got another 3 hours to go, 2 hours, and we got one in the curing station, the one I just pulled out, which we could wait till it's done so you can see it when it's finished. And we're just, this is the whole cool idea of doing this is to do, all the scratch building stuff. It's just, to me, it's the best thing in the hobby is scratch building. And again, I'm not saying I love buying real slots. Trust me, I got a whole case of them and all the other cars. But when it comes down to what we have now from 6 months ago, now we have 3D printers this advanced to make it easier for me, who's not no expert 3D printer. I just go by trial and error, by fire. I can pass the information to you guys. So if you do want to get into 3D printing, you could buy yourself a printer. You're going to spend money, I can tell you right now. You're going to spend about at least $800 minimum. That's including the machine, supplies, the curing station, and paper towels, little containers, alcohol, spray bottle, some of the cafeteria trays. Or you could do it some other way that's cheaper, or how you want to do it. But you will spend money. You'll spend money in resin. That's about $50. And in alcohol for cleaning, which is another 40. So you're going to spend money. But if you want to make something on your own and not have to buy it, you can do that. But if you don't want to do that, these cars will be available on Stock Car Corner for purchase, so it's not a problem. So this way you can get into it. And then you have the chassis kits. So it's interiors, drivers. We're providing everything that was not there half a year ago, whereas we had to make our own roll cages out of Q-tips, styrene, frickin' playing cards. What Dave told me, I'm getting old, and if I can make it easier, I'm sure as shit gonna do it this way, because I don't want to have to be making stuff out of, and it's a lot of work. So we're trying to make it easier for us and everybody else to build a scratch build car. So, but anyways, so that's it. That was quite a long live. I don't know how many people were watching. I hope you guys liked it. I really appreciate everybody that showed up. As always, you guys take care, and like I say, have fun racing and scratch build.